Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm now live for Monday Night Raw. All right, here we go. We're not Monday Night Raw. What do I keep saying Monday Night Raw for? Let's see. All right, we're live. Cool, cool, cool. All right, I was waiting for that live button go off over here on TikTok and YouTube. Right now, we are live on both, which is pretty awesome. Haven't been live on YouTube and TikTok in a while. So here we go. Whoa, what's up, Brandon? How's it going? All right. So now, one of the first things I want to talk about when it comes to this week of wrestling is obviously Monday Night Raw. I have a few takeaways from that show that I find a little interesting. And those are most notably that the fact that A, Penta had one of the best debuts I've seen in a long time. Penta obviously showed up to Monday Night Raw. We kind of knew that was going to happen. Like, let's be real. We all knew that Penta was going to debut against Chad Gable, seeing as last week they kind of hyped him up for a debut. And then Chad Gable challenged any luchador to a match. And it ended up being none other than Penta. Now, I know some people are saying that, Penta's time out there in the match and everything kind of ran over a little bit. But I feel that it wasn't long enough because honestly, the show ended about 20 minutes early anyway. So if people were mad about timing, then they need to talk to their bosses in WWE because you know Penta did what he had to do, got over with the crowd, had a really good presentation, had a really good freaking match with Chad Gable, and honestly, they sold a lot of merch. I know quite a bit of people probably bought the new shirts that were released. I know they're selling the mask online now for Penta. They even released a white six mask or something like that. Like I'm seeing a lot of interesting things just coming from Penta's segment on Monday from his match and everything. I don't know if anybody else agrees with what's happening with Penta over there, but it was all good for me. Honestly, Penta's debut was a hit. I liked it. No complaints from me. Chad Gable sold the hell out of that pile driver that he received from Penta. That thing was beautiful. Like let's be real, that thing was a work of art. You can't really complain too much about it. And if you are complaining about anything from that, then you're just nitpicking at this point, and you're just not a happy person. You just find stuff to you know pick at. um, well, we got quite a bit of people coming in over there on TikTok. How's everybody doing today? By the way, how's everyone doing? If you are wondering, we are also live on YouTube. If you want to go catch us on YouTube, um, obviously with the whole banning or whatever of the app coming up real soon, then you can obviously start following us on our other social media platforms, which I do have: Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. We have a Facebook group. I always forget about the Facebook group, but I'm always posting in it. But yeah, you can follow us everywhere if something happens to TikTok. But let's continue. Another thing that happened Monday night was obviously we opened up the show, not with the match that I was just talking about, but we opened up with uh, CM Punk cutting promo, talking about John Cena, and then he was interrupted by Seth freaking Rollins, which, let's be real, we saw that happening. But then Drew McIntyre came out. That was a bit of a surprise to me that he came out, cut a promo as well, and all three guys actually announced themselves for the Royal Rumble. which right now I believe we have a total of 7 people in there, which is John, Jay, Punk, Rollins, Drew, I believe LA Knight, and I can't remember who else. But I know those 7 people are already entered in the Royal Rumble, and a lot of people are complaining about that, which I don't get why people are complaining about them announcing top stars into the Rumble. What's up, Chris? How you doing today, brother? I'm doing really good, by the way. But I'm not sure why people are complaining about them announcing who's in the Rumble, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Obviously, this segment was written by somebody. They have the name right here. Um, Alexandra Williams was the one that wrote the promos and wrote the little script for that segment with them 3 guys. And I'm not gonna lie, it was freaking good. It was a good segment. It was a good uh, little little moment in the ring with 3 guys that just truthfully hate each other. Like Seth and Drew have had beef. Punk and Drew and Punk and Seth. Everybody's had beef with each other in that little segment. It's like, man, who's gonna fight who? I feel like all 3 guys, if you just get them in the ring, they're just gonna beat each other up. Like it doesn't matter who it is, they're just gonna tear each other apart. But most notably, like Drew and Rollins both hate Punk, and they just want to whoop his ass some more. I can't wait for that to happen. Obviously, Punk has said he's going to win the Rumble. Then, of course, John Cena says he's win the Rumble, and then Jay said he's win the Rumble. Everyone's thinking they're winning the Rumble, which is quite frankly a great thing. Oh, Roman's in the Rumble. That's who else was in the Rumble. That it just came to me. I forgot Friday night. Paul Heyman announced Roman will be in the Rumble, and what's up, Raven Club? How's it going? But it's crazy to think that they're gonna have all this star power in the Rumble this early on, and I'm down for it. Like I'm honestly down for that. I can't wait until that happens. And like I was talking about a little bit ago, you're in TikTok jail until Tuesday, Raven Club. Dang, that sucks. We've all been there. But a lot of people are upset about them announcing these stars being in the Rumble. That there's not enough surprises. And me, I'm thinking like in the past, people have complained that too many legends were in the match, too that they had too many surprises, and now that we're 7 stars in, now there's not enough. Now, the one thing about the Triple H era, which I enjoy, which I like personally, is that he doesn't rely on the star power of the stars from the past. Yes, he has John Cena in the Rumble, but he's not reaching out to other veterans that, like Kane, Taker, Goldberg, guys like that. He's not calling out to them to come back and be in the Rumble. He's relying on the power of the star power of who he has right now. And right now, his main roster is kind of stacked with top guys. Like you didn't, I didn't realize how many top guys we actually have until you start naming them out loud. On your hands, it's like, oh wow, 7 guys, and somehow, some way, all these guys have already competed against each other, and we're upset because he's actually using the talent he has on his roster. Because you have 7 guys in already, that means you have 23 other spots to fill, and he can pick from NXT. He can pick from SmackDown, obviously, still from the Raw roster. He has all these new talents he can pick from all across the board to make the Rumble a good one. And if he wants to throw a surprise or two in, that's cool. But that's what I like about Triple H. He's not going to rely on all those old stars or older stars from the past to make his Rumble good. He's going to rely on what he has in front of him, which I don't know if anybody else out there agrees with it, but it's freaking phenomenal. I love it. Keep it going, right? And I had to take a swig of my drink here. But we're also like Monday night. We also got a few other matches. We obviously got the inaugural Intercontinental Women's Champion. Um, we crowned uh, Lyra Valkyria as the new IC Women's Champion. And I'm not going to lie, this was a 50-50 split for me with Lyra and Dakota Kai. We watching AEW. I will let you know later on. But we got that match, and it was a good match between those two ladies. I like both of them. I like Dakota Kai. I like Lyra. Lyra, killed it on the in NXT. They both did. But the thing with them picking Lyra over Dakota Kai, I believe, in my personal opinion, that was the right call. And I'm going to explain. We know in the past Dakota can work in the ring. She can cut promos. She is good. But she has had injuries really close together. I know when she came back, I want to say she had an injury already, so she didn't wrestle for a good part of her return when she came back with damage control, or she was injured like a few weeks into it. And then after her return to the ring, not long after that, she had a knee injury, so she was out. And I think WWE's feeling towards her becoming a champion, especially the inaugural IC champion, is more like we know she can do it, but she's injury prone. She has shown to be injury prone. So do we really want to put a title on her right now? Like the story would be good. WTP, I have 7 years of sobriety this month, big dog. Nice, Chris. I love it. I love it, big guy. Keep it going. But like I was saying, like, do you really put a title on her and have her be your champion if she has had injuries back to back before in the past? I don't think so. But I think they made the right call for having her chase the title, having her story kind of told of how good she can be, and then when she does win that title, I think it's gonna be a bigger moment than being the inaugural champion. Because sometimes it's like people say the chase is better than the actual moment that they win the title. The whole chasing it is what some people get invested in. Like with Cody Rhodes when he won his world heavyweight title, his undisputed title. Like let's be real, everyone was on his side to win that damn title. Everyone supported him. Everyone was cheering for him. Everyone was like, Cody needs to finish the story. He needs to finish the story. Everyone was on his side during the chase. The moment he won is the moment they turned on him. It's like, okay, he won. And I remember when he won, I was like, oh man, it's freaking about time, about time. Not even a few days into his title reign, people were asking, when's he going to lose it? When's he going to lose the belt? I'm like, are you freaking serious? He just won. Now you want him to lose it? Like, what is wrong with you people? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, he hasn't done nothing yet except win the title, and you guys want him to lose already? It's like, it's like us wrestling fans can't be happy and take a moment just to enjoy what's in front of us. Like, y'all quickly turned on him. Like, I was, damn, my big Cody Rhodes fans. Oh, you're a big Cody Rhodes fans gaming? Nice. But yeah, I know you remember that people were all for him winning it, all happy, the chasing, and then when he won, they all started turning on him. I'm like, holy crap, that was fast. Y'all didn't even give him a chance. That was very weird of people. But I feel like the same thing would have happened to Dakota Kai if she had won the belt on Monday. Uh, Obviously, she would have won the belt, but I think fans would have turned on her like, okay, who does she go up against first, and who does she lose to? Like, what's going to happen here? And I'm like, wow, you guys are changing up on her quick. Yes, you were happy when he returned, and I bet you were happy when he won the belt. Cloudy, this is the the live broadcast of the Wrestling Today podcast. Something I haven't done in a while. We're bringing it back. Um, heck yeah, says gaming. Okay, but yeah, but usually I have someone here on the left, or I have some chat going on, but it's all good. I should be posting up pictures, but I didn't get the pictures. It's all good though. But yeah, so Lyra versus Dakota Kai was a great match. It was cool. He won, but I'm not really a fan of Cody. It didn't really matter to me if he won or not. Okay. So well, that would have been the same thing with some fans about Dakota Kai. And of course, that's how some people feel about Lyra. I think people would have been happy with either option, but at the same time, I think they would have flipped the script like really quick on one of them. And I do see a lot of people saying, okay, now Lyra won. Who does she go against first, and when does she lose it? Like, damn, let her enjoy the moment. Jeez. Oh, man. But then we also got an impromptu match with the Miz and Sammy, which um, kind of was off to me a little bit. I don't know why they did that match. I mean, I don't see why, but it was a good match. Of course, Sammy would come out on top. Miz would lose, which I don't know why they're doing my boy Miz like that. I feel like he deserves better. He's in a good story with the Final Testament, but I think they could do better if they allow him to not be embarrassed like that. I mean, I think he still has enough in the gas tank to push for more title reigns, for more everything, and be a top guy still. They're just not using him properly when it comes to that. And Sammy, don't get me wrong, I like Sammy. I just feel like he's not the underdog like he's trying to be anymore. He's way past that. I mean, he's been in WWE for some years now, and I feel like he's not that underdog. Like, I think the underdog story is over and done with. They need to find something else for him. So hopefully within the next few months or something, they can change that. Um, it did let him cook before he said, "I let him lose already." Laugh out loud. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Chris. So yeah, I mean, with Sammy, they need to find something for him to do. Miz, they need to push him in a better direction. Um, and that match Monday was all right. It just wasn't like, oh my God, it's happening moment. It was just like, all right, they do this match together. Um, obviously, in the main event, we got Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Like that match, I'm not gonna lie, it started off a little rocky for me. It started off a little, but once you got further into it, you started seeing these guys beat the living hell out of each other, and then you saw Damian just, you know, put Finn Balor through that table. It's like, oh my God, these guys are legit trying to hurt each other. Like, hell yeah, this match is good. This is what I'm talking about. They're trying to bring back, shades of the Attitude Era, trying to bring back shades of the Ruthless Aggression Era. These guys are being physical. They're using everything they can. They're going through the crowd. They're throwing each other through tables. Like, that's what I like. And then I don't know if anybody saw my live on Monday, but I don't get the commercial breaks, like, whatever. Because I use a VPN. But sorry. But I don't know if y'all saw the moment where they were putting him on the stretcher and all that. Damien was just walking to the ring. I didn't see the United States version, but yes, I will. I will. I'm about to talk about NXT in a minute, Sauce, but I did watch it last night. We were live for NXT, but I did watch that, so we'll talk about that next. But the match with Damien and Finn was good. I like the ending. The right person won. Finally, to let that be laid to rest, if that's what they're planning on doing. Finally, get Damien away from the Judgment Day stuff, because I feel like right now, going into WrestleMania season with a lot of the stories that have happened in the past year, I think they're finally putting the final nail on the coffins. Like Let's put that to bed. Let's do something else. We got Wiccan over there on YouTube. What is up, Wiccan? How's it going, my boy? Do you watch TNA, bro? Yes, I do, Jose. Um, so yeah, guys, if you don't know, I'm live on TikTok and I'm live on YouTube. You can go to YouTube, Wrestling Today Podcast, watch the same live because remember, if something happens to this platform, TikTok, we're gonna be going somewhere to go live and stuff, and we'll be going live from YouTube for these kind of segments. Obviously, the wrestling stuff will be on Twitch, the lives I do on TikTok. So follow me everywhere. I got a link tree in my bio. Just hit that and it takes you to all of my social media platforms. But the main ones that will be used if something happens to TikTok will be YouTube and Twitch. So make sure you follow both those platforms. Um, but it's nice to see that Wiccan is over there showing support on the YouTube side. I really do appreciate that. Hopefully everyone else can head over there as well. Um, but but yeah, Monday had a lot of good stuff, had a lot of good segments. I like how they're ending a lot of these feuds that a lot of us are tired of. I can't wait to see what they do going forward once all these feuds are done and done. I feel like something big is going to happen with Damian Priest. I feel like since Finn will be separated from Damian Priest, or something big will happen with Finn Balor since he's getting away from Damian Priest. I think this year we're going to see big things from Finn Balor, maybe from Damian Priest as well. Maybe Damian Priest gets sent to SmackDown or something and they get separated that way because we know from what Karrion Cross said, Wyatt Six is now on SmackDown. I didn't know they were going to SmackDown until Karrion Cross said it. And I'm like, whoa, that's a big move. And then we also obviously saw Nia Jax kind of teasing the fact that, hey, I was talking to Adam Pearce about the whole open trade thing and blah, blah, blah when she came out on Rhea Ripley. And it's like, holy crap, are they really going to start trading people around? Which I know a lot of people are like, it doesn't matter. They don't have like an actual home brand anymore because everyone just goes wherever they want. But I feel like with Netflix and USA Network, having, one has Raw, one has SmackDown, I think we are going to see a shift where they will stay on their brands. Because let's be real, on Netflix, they are going to need some big names, but USA also needs the big names too, because they still rely on the sponsorships and all the ads and everything that come from USA Network. Uh, Netflix does have some if you are in the United States. Obviously, the overseas fans don't get the breaks. And I can attest to that because I was watching it, with the VPN and I was able to see that they don't get breaks. They keep the action going in the ring. They show us interviews that they won't show on the live feed for the United States fans. And that was actually pretty phenomenal for me to see. I was like, holy crap, they really are doing what they said. But with all the stuff they had going on, the one thing is, why did they end the show 20 minutes early, damn near 20 minutes early? And they didn't give us a real reason as to why. Because I know when my live was ending and the show ended early, people were like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Why did it end so early? Like, what's going on? Like, how? Why? What? And it's a simple explanation. For me, it's real simple. Like, because if you pay attention to Raw before Netflix and SmackDown and everything, how many freaking breaks did they take? Like, Netflix Raw doesn't take that many breaks because everyone gets that on Netflix now. SmackDown, on the other hand, and NXT, they still get breaks, quite a few of them. And with Raw not having as many breaks, the time constraint is not there as much. That means they can make a segment stretch out as far as they can, but without those breaks and however many breaks they took before, because I feel like breaks would take at least 3 minutes to 5 minutes each. And, that was the majority of the time. A match would start, and maybe 3 or 4 minutes into the match, they go take a 3 to 5 minute break. They come back, do another 15 minutes of wrestling and promos and stuff, and then take another 5 minute break. The same pattern kept happening. So, they had all those breaks to fill all that time in 3 hours. That's how they were able to do 3 hours. Now that Netflix is like, okay, you can do breaks, but it won't be as many. We'll do a few breaks, maybe a few minutes, but we're not gonna do like that over the top stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, the breaks are still kind of like, kind of make me frustrated when they do happen, but like I said, they're not as much. It's not as much happening, which is why it's understandable that they ended the show early. And before, everyone was hating the breaks. Everyone hated the freaking breaks. I understand. I hated them, and now they don't have as many, which is freaking awesome. I love it. Are you watching AEW? I will later on, King Harris, and I will tell you all about how we're gonna do that later on. But let's finish all this first. Um, last night we got. Last night we're gonna go to NXT now. And NXT, I don't know about you guys. NXT has been phenomenal. King Harris, you already asked me that. Don't ask me again. Um, Last night NXT was great as usual. A lot of good matches, a lot of good segments. What threw me off though in the beginning of the night though, I will say this. You had Oba come out. You had Tony D come out, Ridge Holland, and instead of Tony D focusing on Oba, you had him confront Ridge Holland, which is it's okay. But you had Oba just stand there for like a whole minute and then get attacked by Eddie Thorpe. And Eddie Thorpe beat down Oba. And I'm like, wow, okay. So you let these two guys come out, confront Oba, let Tony D conflict or whatever. I missed some of NXT, fell asleep, getting gold. Yeah, you are getting gold. I mean, NXT was pretty early. Oh yeah, Steven from Twitch. My bad, dude. I know why now. I'm like, I thought you were a troll. My bad. King Harris, dude. I just said we're talking about NXT. I will answer those questions later before we end the live. But yeah, Steven is he's one of my day ones from Twitch. I remember he just jumped in my live one day and he shows a lot of support over there on Twitch. I love it. Thank you for showing up today. Yeah, from Twitch. I remember now. But yeah, let's see. Oh, okay. So they had that segment with them four guys, but it's like, why did you have Tony D come out again? Why did you have Rich Holland come out? Like neither one of them was there really to confront Oba, and they were there to confront each other. And I can kind of see why. They're probably going to save Oba for those two guys later down the road, and they're going to finish this whole thing with Eddie Thorpe because obviously later on the night, Eddie Thorpe is going to get a title shot against Oba Femi. And I can't wait till Oba gets his hands on Eddie because I'm getting annoyed by Eddie at this point too. He deserves to get his ass whipped, and I can't wait. Um, but of course, Stephanie Valkyr versus Shotzi happened, and then obviously this, I guess, wannabe toxic attraction, whatever you want to call them, came out at the end of that match, cost Stephanie the title shot for the North American title. Because Valen Henley is the champion at the moment, and she was there to cost Stephanie the title match. Now, my biggest complaint about that, even though it was a good match, between those two ladies is that why? You had Stephanie go through a fatal four way and win. You had Shotzi pin the current champion in a tag team match. I would have probably done something different by having Shotzi maybe go against Fallon first and have Stephanie, go against the winner from that match. Or have Stephanie versus Fallon Henley and then later do Shotzi versus whoever won that match. But you had Stephanie put up her number one contendership against Shotzi and then ultimately get pinned by Shotzi. Which, if you look at it, Stephanie has not lost a match on NXT yet, but yet she lost to Shotzi. Don't get me wrong, I like Shotzi. She has been on the main roster and whatnot, but if you look at what they have done, within the company, and obviously Stephanie has been there as long, but outside of the company, Stephanie's like way up there on a different level than Shotzi is. Shotzi just came back from injury. Shotzi hasn't had that many singles matches. Stephanie has been there not that long either, but she has been putting on matches almost every week. She has been involved with something every week. And because Shotzi's Shotzi, she gets the title shot now. But the argument could be for Stephanie is like, hey, I didn't lose fair and square. Let's be real. You had to have help to beat me, which I think if Shotzi wins that title, they run that match back, and that's how Stephanie wins the title. Or Shotzi loses, and then Stephanie comes back and gets revenge. Either way, at the end of the day, at the end of all this, Stephanie, I believe, will be winning the North American title off of one of them. Doesn't matter who. She's walking away with that belt. But man. And then another notable mention from last night was the whole Dante Chin versus Ethan Page. We saw Ethan Page come unhinged, and I'm all for it. I'm loving it. I loved every minute of him whooping on everybody. He did what he did to Dante Chin, removed his boot, put his leg between those steel steps, messed him up with the steel steps. Like, can't really complain too much about that. You can't really say too much. Like, that was a phenomenal segment for him to be in, and not many people were going to complain about it. And if you are complaining about it, then go cry about it. I don't care. Uh, but the whole him doing that, and then you know Javon Evans coming out and getting punched in the face, and going down after one hit, like that was great. You have a guy that's already injured come out trying to defend somebody, getting laid out because of the same injury, and this guy just going like, man, you shouldn't have came back. You should just kept your ass at home, bro. Like, what you thinking about? Like, this is my yard right now. Like, don't come at me. I love it. I don't know too many people that would complain about it. It was phenomenal. But then the later on we got Fraxium versus OTM. Now, Fraxium is a great tag team. They're really good. I like them. Have nothing against them. However, though, they needed to lose. They need to lose those titles. What's up, Mikey? How's it going? They need to lose the titles because they've held them all. They've held them for quite some time, and they've been teasing a breakup. I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I want to see the breakup now. When are they going to break up? Because you have a constraint on these two guys right now. Frazier, we know he can go in the ring. We know Axiom can go in the ring. Both of these guys as a tag team, that's cool. That's great. But if we're in an era where you're trying to push these kind of guys to be future world champions or future, mid card champions or whatever, they need to be separated. They don't need to be a tag team no more. They've already done what they can do as a tag team. They've gone through almost every tag team you can possibly throw at them. And somehow, some way, they keep winning the belts. Then, especially when you have DIY, they're scouting talent, especially when they physically name those two guys. Like, we're here to check out what the big deal is with these two guys. Like, we're here to see what they're about. They're obviously holding the SmackDown tag team titles. They're there to see the NXT tag team champions. Why are you, hesitating on pulling the trigger? Let these guys finally lose the titles. Let them move on from each other. I believe Frazier can be a great champion down the road. I'm not saying world champion, a champion, whatever title we're going to give him, anything but tag team gold. Even if you push them to the main roster for a little while as a tag team, that'd be cool, and then separate then, or just have them separate before going to the main roster. And then somehow, some way, coming back full circle after they're doing what they've done on the main roster and be a tag team again, kind of like DIY. You brought Tommaso Ciampa up first, and then you brought Johnny Gargano. They did their own thing for a little while. Then they finally met up with each other again. Now they're freaking tag team champions, and people are loving it, especially the heel turn that they have going on. Um, so me personally, Fraxium needs to lose the titles. I thought it was going to happen last night with OTM. They were beating the hell out of them. They were throwing them around. They were doing everything they could, using whatever they could without getting disqualified. But yet, Fraction was able to win the gold back. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with that. I just would have preferred OTM get the dub and then finally let Fraxium die off. The run is over. Let them go their own ways. That's just me. Uh, and then at the last segment of last night, we got Roxanne Perez coming out. She cut a promo talking about how this women's division in NXT isn't going to be the same without her as champion. She has been the best women's champion of all time. The division wouldn't be where it's at without her being champion. And now that she's not champion, it's not going to be as good as it was. In my opinion, I think it's about to get elevated to better heights because as good as Roxanne is, I think Julia is a little bit better. When it comes to promo work, obviously Roxanne got that hands down, mostly because of the language barrier. Um, you know, for Julia, English is not her first language, but she can throw down in the ring. We know she can go. If you've seen her in any of her other matches, the woman can go. And I think that's what the NXT needs is I guess different kind of champion, someone that can go in the ring, maybe not cut the best promos, but she can still go. If she was able to do her promos in her first language, then she would kill it. Which I don't mind if they do that. If they let her speak in her native tongue and just have the captions, I mean, I don't mind it. I don't know about other people, but I'm down for it. But we'll have to wait and see what they do there. But Roxanne, I feel like when she was cutting her promo and then Bailey came out, it was a good sign that we may be seeing Roxanne Perez on the main roster. And I think that's going to happen around the Rumble time. I think she'll make her presence in the Rumble felt. And we'll see her land on probably, I want to put my money on Monday Night Raw, but I would not mind seeing her on Friday Night SmackDown. Only because I feel like they probably need more ladies on SmackDown. Just my opinion. But they have, oh no, maybe Raw because they need more on Raw. They have a pretty stacked card on Friday Night SmackDown. You got Mi Chen, Chelsea, Bailey, obviously, Nia Jax, um, uh, Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae, just to name a few ladies. They have quite a bit of people over there that are doing a pretty good job. Bianca, Naomi, um, they need more women on Raw. But pretty soon, I think that's going to change. I think three ladies might be coming back soon at the Rumble as well. There might be three surprises in there, but I think Roxanne would be a good fit on Raw if she were to go there. I don't know who she'd go against, but we'll see. But when Bailey came out, obviously trying to give her advice, telling her the women's division would be good without her. She needs to move on, kind of. And then, Roxanne throwing shade at her, like, man, you sound just like Natalia. You sound just like Punk. And, you are people I used to look up to and blah, blah, blah. Like, wow, okay, this is fire right here. I saw a video on Instagram with Roxanne and Bailey. My guess is Roxanne going to cost Bailey the title. That is another good prediction right there, Steve. That could very well happen. But obviously, we saw at the end of SmackDown, or not SmackDown, NXT, after Bailey said what she said to Roxanne, and Roxanne going got her, they attacked each other, or, well, more like Roxanne threw the first punch, and then Bailey just started going at it. But last night, they cut the show pretty short. Not short, but they ended it in the middle of that scuffle, so we don't know who got over on who. But it was a good segment. I liked it. I did not like the fact that towards the end of it, they pretty much just promoted the match with Bailey and Tiffany Stratton. Um, that was not the time and the place for that. Obviously, that should have been a moment for, like, you know what? How about this? After I win, you come at me for the title, and we'll see how that goes for you, young kid. That would have been better. Yeah, going to lead to a rival if Roxanne gets called up. Yes, I can see that happening too. Obviously, I'd be down for it. We know that Roxanne can go in the ring. She can cut a promo. So I'm all for it. I'm all for that. I can't wait. I know you can't wait. Um, but yeah, so far this week in wrestling has been good. I am not complaining. A lot of changes have occurred. A lot of drama has happened. Most notably, Corey Graves. If you were watching NXT with us last night, or if you watched NXT at all, you would know last night it was only Vic and Booker T on commentary. Last week we saw Corey Graves, I guess catch a demotion to the NXT brand. He was on commentary last week, but this week he was nowhere to be found. It was reported that after Monday Night Raw, he did send out a tweet on X, venting out his frustrations of what's happening. I'm trying to find that right now. Let me see if I can find that. But yeah, he was absent because he's not happy about how they handled him going forward, especially since, he's pretty much put his time in. He was forced into retirement from injury. He became a commentator on NXT to start out, worked his way up to the main roster. And last week, with all the changes on the commentary teams, yeah, they kind of put him back to where he was at. And everyone's saying that this was legit. This is not a stunt. But I'm going to read what he said right here. All right. So Monday night, Graves posted a heartfelt tweet expressing his frustration about his career trajectory. He revealed, "Imagine chasing your dream, then being told that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream, then you're dedicated your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruit of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job, just in case you've wondered where I've been." Wow. All right. So, like I said, he was a talent, got injured, went to commentary, worked his way up to main roster. He has floated from Raw, SmackDown, PLEs, pre-show, post-show. He's done it all, right? He has been floating all over the place. He was on Raw with Michael Cole for a while. Then they did a three-man commentating table with Booker T, Cole, and Corey, back down to two. Then Pat McAfee came in. Cole went to SmackDown for a while. Then they moved him to Raw. Corey Graves was on Raw, then went to SmackDown. Then they moved him, kept him on SmackDown for a while with Michael Cole and all that. But all of it led to him being replaced by Joe and Wade Barrett on SmackDown because Cole and Pat are a better pair for Raw. You think Corey Graves leaving WWE to stay with Carmella and staying with his family? No. I just read it, Mikey. He's mad because they treated him the way they have, pretty much telling him, Joe and Wade Barrett are taking your place. You're going to SmackDown because we can't use you on Raw because we got um we got Cole and Pat. I think the animosity between him and Pat McAfee is legit. It is. But that's not Pat McAfee's fault. Like, let's be real. Like, let's be 100% real here, guys. We we watch Raw every week. We listen to Raw every week. When Joe came in and was paired with Ray Barrett, when he first started, he sucked. He just straight up sucked. Like, I did not like Joe. I did not want nothing to do with Joe. I said they made a mistake by bringing this guy, putting Cole on SmackDown. But over the past few weeks, Joe has gotten better, but it's understandable why he got removed and put on SmackDown. He's not a Pat McAfee. He's not a Michael Cole. He can do play by play. He can probably call the moves. But at the end of the day, I personally feel he's not passionate about what he's doing. There's very little passion from him. It sounds like he's going with the flow of what's happening in front of him, which is fine. It's fine if you're watching football. It's fine if you're watching boxing. It's fine if you're watching the UFC, whatever it is you're calling basketball, whatever, right? But when it comes to WWE, wrestling, sports entertainment, like what these guys do in the ring, you gotta have passion. Like, you have to. Michael Cole, when you see him get excited and hyped up, you get excited and hyped up. Pat McAfee's sitting there acting a fool when Jay comes out, when Shinsuke Nakamura comes out, whoever. He gets hyped up like crazy. You can't deny the man's charisma when those guys are coming out and he's just going crazy with it. This is a great conversation. Oh yeah. Like, you can just tell the difference. Corey Graves, I've been seeing people just dog the guy for the past, 24, 48 hours. And it's like, I will give Corey Graves his credit. He may not be a guy designed for commentary, but you can tell he's more passionate than Joe. I can tell he's more passionate than Joe. But obviously, they do have Pat McAfee just because it's Pat McAfee. It's because of his star power. It might be a work. Graves versus McAfee WrestleMania 41. That's fine, wrestle rant, whatever. That's your opinion. You can laugh and be a whatever you want to feel. But at the end of the day, Corey Graves wasn't at NXT. He wasn't at Speed. He did his little rant. If it's a work, it's a work. Douches like you that come in, oh, it's work. Shut the fuck up and get out of here. But seriously, like, there's a difference between Joe, Corey, Pat, and Corey. Obviously, they should have kept Corey and got rid of Joe. Put him on Speed. Put him on pre-show or post-show, whatever you want. Just to clarify, I said it might be. Just to clarify, I don't care. But yeah, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. But I honestly think they made the mistake by not having Corey on the commentating team on SmackDown or Raw. Um, they could have even made SmackDown a three-man, table, which would have been fine. Because NXT, you saw him last week. He looked miserable. He was mad. He didn't want to be there. Um, yeah, that's just what I feel. That's my opinion. And if people have other opinions, they're open to it. But that's pretty much all we got for today. Obviously, I am going to be watching AEW tonight, but I will not be watching here on TikTok. Okay. I think Wade and Corey would have been a better fit. Joe can easily zone out of what he is saying. That is true. Do you think Corey will have an effect on Carmella's career? Carmella has said she would rather stay home at this point and be a family person. I gave my opinion. You came after me. Um, it's the way you come out for your opinion with the whole laughing and the clapping, like a sound like a douche kind of thing. That's what gets me thrown off. You could have said that without those little emotes, and I would be like, oh, yeah, okay, well, that's open to you. Like, that could be a possibility because he was clear to wrestle a while back. He just hasn't done it. There's a difference. Joe needs to stay as post shows for pay per views, probably. No, I'm the WC digital jester. I'm a professional clown. Uh, that's good for you. Um, that's a self given title, I'm assuming. That's cool. I don't do the whole, I don't do all that. But okay. But yeah, those opinions are valid. I don't think Corey has any effect on Carmella, though, obviously. Looks at everything. What? Looks are lit everything. I will not be watching AEW on Twitch. I was going to tell y'all. I will be watching AEW on my other account on Kick. I do have a Kick. I would rather risk losing a Kick channel over all my other stuff because obviously AEW is very strict on what they do with their content. And I've tried it here on TikTok before. Obviously it got taken down. I've tried it. I've never tried it on Twitch, but I would rather not mess with Twitch. I would rather, mess with a Kick channel before I mess with anything else. But yes, follow my other social media accounts. They are all posted in my bio, but my Kick is not. My Kick is the same name though, Wrestling Today Podcast. You can catch me tonight when AEW starts. Um, right now, I'm live on both TikTok and YouTube. You can catch me on YouTube as well. Like right now, if y'all want to go over there, you are going to see this exact same live over there. And that's obviously because you never know what's going to happen with TikTok at this point. It's one of those things like it's up in the air. Like, let's be real. That thing it's up in the air of what they're doing. We got a bunch of greedy people running the show and they just want their fair share of the pie, I guess. That's how they see it. But apparently it's a security risk. I don't know how people dancing on camera or acting silly on camera is a security risk. So I don't know. What time zone does it start on your time? It starts 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, which I think you're a few hours ahead of me. I want to say, like five, no, about 5 or 6 hours ahead of me. Steve, I know you're in the UK, so I want to say it's about 6 hours ahead of me, your time zone. So if you find me on Kick, you can obviously do that. WTB is the best. He loves his community. Yes, I do. It's 10:46 here now, so yeah, you are 6 hours ahead of me. So yeah, it's 4:46 p.m. here in good old Texas. So I will be live. I will be doing what I do over there on Kick. And if it gets taken down, then oh well, we tried. But I do see somebody else sliding in on YouTube. Go ahead and leave a comment. We'll all be able to see it. We'll all be able to see who's over there on Kick.
Yeet.
Or I'm on YouTube, my bad. Um, Yeet. And everyone that's hearing this.
Yeah.
But before we leave, I want y'all to
Acknowledge me.
had to hit that. Had to hit that for the one time for the one time. You know what I'm saying? But alrighty. I am going to go ahead and head out. I am going to just chill for a little while, and I will be live for AEW on Kick. Okay, you have valid points, but Triple H kept Corey employed when his in-ring career was over. That is true, Oleg. Okay, I guess we're still on that part. Yeah. But honestly, Corey Graves could have, they WWE could have just said, "Look, bro, we don't need you. We have nothing for you. Be out." They presented him with an opportunity. They gave him the opportunity. And then, they moved him to NXT last week. But at the same time, it's like, okay, some people would love to do that, be on NXT. Less travel, same pay, same job. Just, you know, you don't have to put as much pressure on yourself. That's how I see it. All right. But all right. That was it. That's all I got to say about that. I'm going to head out. I will catch y'all next time. And I want to say the next live episode of us doing this will probably be on Sunday afternoon, maybe Saturday night. I will let y'all know. But I do believe Genesis is this weekend, so I'll let y'all know if we'll be live for Genesis on Sunday. I want to say it's on Sunday the 19th. Good night, WTP. Catch you tonight. All right, Mikey. All right, everyone. Remember, tonight on Kick, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just, we'll be live for AEW. Just find out whatever time zone you're in, that's what time it starts. But pretty much whatever time AEW starts, that's what time I'm starting. But all right, I will see y'all on Kick later on tonight.